Hey guys, welcome back to Heart and Hustle, your go to transformation podcast. I'm your host, Louise B., life coach, intuitive, and mindset mentor. And this is where we break cycles, shift perspective, and help you step into your power so you can live your best life yet. I know you're ready for more, so buckle up and let's get into it. Okay, guys, so I'm joined by Michael Serwa. He's here with us today, and he is literally the highest paid life coach in the UK. Is that
That's the word
correct,
on the
Michael?
street. That's the
That's the
word on the
word on the
street.
street. Yeah, I actually, it's so funny. I have a story about how I actually first saw your face. And I mean, this was like maybe 9 or 10 years ago.
All right.
And I was on a train and I was going somewhere in London. I can't remember where, but it was in amongst London. And I'm sitting across from this guy who's like sitting down, on the train. And he suddenly opens up a newspaper. Your face was there. And it said the UK's highest paid life coach. And I thought, huh, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
So, what's it like having that title?
Um, it, it's one of those things where I don't know it for certain because I haven't met her, but I don't think Adele wakes up in the morning thinking, I can sing so beautifully. I'm so amazing.
Mm,
We normalize things, good and
hmm
bad. So, um, if there was a period of me being excited about it, feeling proud of it, um, seeing it as a big deal. I don't remember it. I don't think there was that period. It
mm,
just happened. It took me 4 years to get there. But you see, my goal has never been to become the highest paid life coach in the country. My goal has always been to become the best coach in the world.
mm,
And I knew that before I can become the best personal coach in the world, I will have to become the best one in the UK, Europe.
hmm
So it's never been like I want to become the highest paid life coach in the country. I became the highest paid life coach in the country as a byproduct of working towards becoming the best life coach
hmm
in the world, right? And like I said, to the best of my knowledge of the industry and who's out there doing what they're doing, it took me 4 years. And then since then, because I've been doing it for 13 and a half years now,
Yeah,
almost
I was
40.
wondering how long you've actually been.
For the last 10 years, I've been further
Hmm
dominating the industry, if you will, here in the UK, or I think by now it's fair to say outside of the US.
Mm.
Um, so obviously I'm happy with it, but like I said, it's I when I think about what's actually the most valuable for me is um, how good of a coach I am, not how much money I make
Yeah.
from coaching, and how good I am as a coach is directly tied in to the degree of transformations my clients get to experience as a result of working with me, right? So money is just a byproduct for me. Full disclosure, I like money, I like nice things.
hmm
I'm definitely high maintenance. Um,
Because I think at one point you were making, was it like $20 an hour or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, I started at 20
Yeah.
pounds per session, right? So yes, I like money, I like nice things, but it's never been about the money, right? I was
hmm
just as happy in my first year, after my first year of coaching, full year of coaching, in which I made 34K,
hmm
as I am now making a little bit more than that. So it's not like I was happy as a coach back then, and now I'm super happy because I'm making this money. Money is just like, yeah, okay, yeah, more freedom. I can support my family in Poland, my parents, help out my sister, pay for her kids,
hmm
private school, whatever, which makes me more happy than the money I spent on myself. It's,
Yeah.
it's the impact, right? Like I measure my worth as a coach in the impact I make in my clients' lives, not by looking at my bank account or looking at my fees or anything like
Yeah.
that. And that's what get me out of bed in the morning, not the desire to make even more money or anything like that, right? Is this is
hmm
this is this obsession with becoming the best I can be in my craft. My craft
Hmm.
happened to be life coaching.
So, what was the moment that you felt like, okay, this is something that I want to pursue, meaning the coaching?
Sure. I was 28, so 42 now, so that's why I said nearly 14 years in the game. I was watching a YouTube video, um, happened to be Tony Robbins. Um, and mind you, that I was very much into personal development for 5 years already. But for myself, I was in retail. I came to London from Poland at the age of 22. I was working in retail as a retail manager, not hating my life, but certainly not loving my job, let me put it this way, right?
Hmm.
But without a doubt, personal development was my not the biggest interest or passion, the only interest and passion.
Mm.
And I would just read books and listen to things on my way to work, my way from work, on my days off. And that particular day, it was a morning. It was my day off, and it wasn't about anything specific that Tony Robbins said. It was just this moment, and I remember it so clearly, like it was yesterday. It was this realization that, hold on a minute, he is doing this as a job. And I knew
Mm.
that he was mainly
Hmm.
motivational speaker, and then but also like seeing he's obviously a coach as well, right? So I just knew it. I just knew it. In that moment, I knew it. I knew my entire future in that moment,
Mm.
right? I saw the rest of my life in that moment, right? So it wasn't a matter. I was very fortunate. I really consider that as extreme um, lack or something to be grateful for, because I do recognize that most people never get to find a calling. And I just knew, I just fucking knew that I'm gonna spend the
Mhm.
rest of my life doing it, right? Mind you, that even though I was in personal development for 5 years up to that point, as I said, I knew that I wanted to become a life coach, not motivational speaker, right? Because even though Tony
Mhm.
Robbins, and I was watching him on the stage, it wasn't like, oh, I want to be a motivational speaker, I want to be on the stage. It was one-to-one coaching, right? It was clear to me. But even though this hit me like a ton of fucking bricks, I still had to Google what life coaching actually is. Because I heard the
Mm.
term, I didn't know.
Especially back then,
Yeah, I
right?
didn't know exactly what it was that I was just called to do for the rest of my life. It might sound a bit crazy, right?
Mm.
But then I went on Google, and I remember like the back then, I don't know now, I haven't checked in a while, but back then the Google definition of life coaching was, I remember, helping people to identify and achieve the goals.
Yeah.
I can do that. And I share a story with other successful coaches that I know, or either personally or
Mhm.
heard of, at least, how we can look back and see ourselves coaching for much longer than from the point of becoming a coach or
Mhm.
deciding to do it as a career, right? So what I'm trying to say is, I can look back now and see how I've been coaching people from the age of 18, 19 already. I just didn't know
Mm.
that what I was doing was called coaching. Right? People would come
Mhm.
to me and ask for advice. People would always
Naturally.
be naturally. People
Mhm.
would always be interested to know my opinion on things, right? And often people much older than me, right? So I'll be a
Mhm.
kid, 18, 19-year-old kid. I suppose I've always been so-called old soul. Um, I've always been mature for my age. Um,
Mhm.
and people would just come to me. People would just trust me, and people would open up, and I can talk back and also listen,
Mhm.
which is rather important combination when you are a coach. If
Mhm.
talking is one thing, but listening is is arguably even more important. The ability to listen. It's easy for me to talk. There's no question about it, but I
Mm.
can listen as well. Um, and I was like, fuck, I've been coaching for 10 years. I just wasn't charging for it. And then I looked at my career as a fashion retail manager, and it was so clear to me that the only thing in 6 years in retail that I really gave a fuck about was looking after my team.
Mm.
And not just managing them. Hey, listen, I need you to do this shift. Can you do that? Coaching them. I just didn't know it was called coaching. I was just looking after them. The
Mm-hmm.
way in a similar way how I look after my clients today, right? And then looking after customers, the human element to retail, right? I couldn't care less about how many fucking pairs of
The
Watsons.
sales of things,
We
yeah.
would, yeah, everything was fine. I never got fired because, like, I was looking back, I was so good with people that
Yeah.
like we were doing fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when the big bosses would come with a visit to the shop, I would play the game of like how much I can. So, but looking back, I mean, it's like I didn't care whether we're gonna finish on this much, on that much. It wasn't my shop, it wasn't my money. I never cared about money that much, but I
Mm.
always cared about my people. I looked after my people. And even though I was young myself, I mean, I became a manager when I was 23. Um,
Yeah.
so I was young myself. Some of my staff was a little bit older than me, but many of them were even younger than me, right? So I've always had that. I suppose you could call it a combination of or mixture of motherly love on one side and that fatherly. Um, if someone hurts you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fuck them up, right? And
Yeah.
it's
The
like
balance.
yeah, it's like the two polarities, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which, eh, as you can imagine, it's not a bad combination when one is a life coach, right? Because
Yeah.
there is time for motherly love and there is time for fatherly,
Yeah, exactly.
firmness, right? Um, and there's something that really stuck with me. It was one of my clients. I can't remember who said that, but like one of my, I have a bunch of video testimonials on my website, right? And one of my clients said, um, he said that throughout the whole period of coaching, I typically work with people for a few months, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's few years, but typically it's few months,
Mm.
right? He said that how throughout this whole time he felt that I had his back,
Mm.
that I had his back, like no matter what. And that's never been spoken. I never to this day looked into my client, I will have your back. Like
Yeah.
because it's like,
It's a feeling.
yeah, it's a feeling. It's like, I don't need to like say, like, I know I have my client's back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I think because I know it, they can feel it. I don't need to say it. For me, it's like a given. It's like saying, "Oh, I have my children's back." I would hope so. If,
Mm.
if you're a parent, I don't have children myself. I have no intention to have children, and I see not in some weird or patronizing way. Certainly not that, but in a way, I see my clients like my children.
Mm.
Not in the sense that I'm here and they're
No,
here.
no.
I'm right. Like
Just on the caring aspect.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I look after them. Like mind you, like many of my clients are older than me, right? So it's like I work with only people in the 20s or 30s, right? So many of my clients are older than me. It doesn't matter, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
a client is someone I look after.
What would you say separates you from all the other coaches? Because obviously there's so many coaches,
Mm,
different areas of coaching. But I mean, if we just look in, let's say, just looking in London or the UK,
yeah.
what separates you? What do you feel separates you from other people?
Um. Yes and no. I don't do false modesty, right? Like I have, because I'm not British, obviously. I'm not handicapped by the need of doing false modesty, right? We,
Mm-hmm.
we don't do false
Mm-hmm.
modesty in Poland. So in one way, when I'm being honest with myself, I definitely consider myself as the best life coach in the country or outside of the US. Not the best in the
Mm-hmm.
world, but the best outside of the US, right? While simultaneously I recognize that this is very subjective. And when I say things like that, I need to add, I'm the best coach in the country for my type of clients
Mhm.
or my
Mm.
people, right? Because I recognize how my coaching style that works perfectly for my type of people, my clients, would be the worst coaching style for most people, right? And therefore that
Mm.
would make me the worst choice for those people, right? So it's a little bit like with music, you know, well, like who's the best music artist? Well, what's your music taste? Like, what kind of
Mhm.
music do you like? I mean, it's all subjective, right? Um, that's why you'll see in many places people referring to me or me referring to myself as the highest paid life coach in the country because that's unquestionable. That's
Mhm.
measurable, and therefore that's unquestionable, right? That's
Mhm.
undeniable, right? That's something that we can measure, just like we can measure how many albums different artists sell, and we can say, okay, who's doing better, Adele or Ed Sheeran,
Mm. Mhm.
right? And then we can say, okay, depending on who's selling more albums, right? We can say, okay, who's selling more albums, who's making more money, right? But who is better as an artist, Adele or Ed Sheeran, if we use that as an example? Well, it depends
Preference as
on
well,
your
isn't it?
preference, right? It's subjective. Yeah, it's subjective, right? And my coaching style is definitely how to put it.
Direct. Would you say
Dir-
direct?
it's definitely direct. But what was the word I was looking for? It's definitely not for people who are overly sensitive.
Sensitive,
Definitely
yeah.
not for
Yeah.
snowflakes. Definitely not for people who are very PC.
Mhm.
Definitely not for woke people.
Mhm.
Not because I shout. I never shout. Like I don't shout. Period. Right. But
Mm.
I just say what I think, and I say it how I want to say it, and I don't care who you are. You can be,
Mhm.
one of my clients is a billionaire, one
Mhm.
of the 20 wealthiest people in the country. I talk to him exactly the same way how I talk to my youngest client, who's 17 years old, who's never made a penny in his life because he's a kid. Obviously,
Mhm.
rich parents who paid for coaching, but he's a I don't see him as a boy. I see him as a young man because his balls are bigger than most of men in their 50s and 40s.
Mm.
But he's 17. But I talk to all of my clients. I like to think I talk to everybody,
In the same.
period, not just clients, but
Mhm.
like all human beings, regardless of, the background.
Mm. I mean, obviously, yeah, you have a reputation as being direct, like you said, no bullshit, unapologetic. You
Mm,
say it how it is. Was there ever a time that you felt like you had to tone it down, or was there any backlash from people, against you in a way?
mhm. Definitely not with clients.
Hmm.
There's never been a complaint from a client telling me that I was being too harsh. If anything, there were few times where my clients would ask me to be even more no bullshit with them, or
Mm.
even more direct with them. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure?
I
Are you
like that.
sure? Yeah, right. Because the way I see it, it's like so the grand piano has 88 keys, right? Seven and one third octaves, right? 88 keys, right? And I want my coaching range, if you will, to be as wide as possible, right? In contrast, those baby pianos or those toy pianos, keyboards rather,
Hmm.
right? Like
Hmm.
little ones, right? And they would have like two or three octaves, 25 keys, 35 keys, right? So the way I see it is most coaches, and this is linking with your original question as well, a little bit, most coaches range is like that toy keyboard. No disrespect to
Hmm.
those coaches, right? Like that's the range,
Hmm.
right? Like they
Hmm.
either like very gentle,
Hmm.
a little bit less gentle, airy fairy, wishy-washy. That's like like your typical life
Hmm.
coach, right?
Hmm.
And they're all nice people. I've never met a life coach. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a life coach myself. It's like all life coaches are the best people in the world. Or, that's not what I'm saying. But I haven't met as successful, and by successful, let me qualify, or clarify rather what I mean by successful. Successful meaning making full-time income from coaching, right?
Hmm.
And then like really successful be someone making six-figure income from coaching, right? Like in my books. do I look at it, right? So I have never, where I'm going with this, I have never met a successful life coach who wasn't a nice person, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
when you think about it, this whole fucking job is about helping people. Right?
Yeah.
If you are a fucking asshole, right? If you are a narcissist, if you are a sociopath, you're not gonna wake up one morning and decide to become a life coach, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense, right? So you have the vast majority of my industry, of my wonderful industry, operating with that limited range. And my goal is for my range to be like the range of a grand piano, 88 keys, right? So currently I would say, I don't know, it's at maybe 70, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know that there is still room for improvement on both ends, not just on the more gentle, the more motherly love end, right, of the range, but also even on the no bullshit, because I am a fucking people pleaser.
Mm.
I don't like conflict. And like I
Oh,
said,
that's interesting.
yeah, so this it's not like it's you know, if I do well enough in life and after I, not when I die, after I die, someone might want to write a fucking biography and they're gonna have some fucking, it's not gonna be like, okay, Michael Serwa's personality was pretty straightforward, like there is,
Mm-hmm.
this because it's this
Levels.
levels and seemingly conflicting qualities, right?
Mm.
Um, because like I said, I'm definitely a people pleaser. I've always been a people pleaser. I fucking love everyone. I don't like everyone, but I love everyone or almost everyone.
Mm.
I don't particularly love Putin, call me crazy, but like, I wish him fucking sudden death is what I wish him.
Oh
Or for him. The sooner the better.
God. Yeah.
Um, but fundamentally, with exception for dictators, and career criminals, I genuinely love everyone, right? I
Mm-hmm.
wish everyone well, but I'm extremely selective. At the same time, I'm extremely selective as to who I allow to be around me, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I said I love everyone, but I don't like everyone. I don't like many people, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
because I think I'm better than them. It's just I'm not vibing with them.
Yeah, I don't
I,
know
I, I
if.
don't I don't like the way of looking at things, looking at the
Mm-hmm.
world, and a classic example would be like, if someone is like massively homophobic or massively sexist, misogynist, like I have a problem with that. Like I have a fundamental
Mm-hmm.
problem with that, right? Like and I could never be friends with someone like that, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's their beliefs go so against my beliefs when it comes to those things that like I still wish you like all the best, right?
But you're not in my circle.
I don't
Yeah.
wish you fucking cancer, but just don't yeah, we won't fuck together, like we won't be in the same room together.
Mm. But my question was, have you ever had any backlash from people about you
Are
as
you
such?
so but you
Like
see
online or
but you
just in
see
general, people that have just said
but you
certain
see,
things to you and
but,
it's
but,
like you don't even know me.
so Lisa, yeah, so I started and now I just like analyzed myself because you asked that question.
Hmm.
And I can explain why I only half answered that question
Hmm.
because I only talked about the half that I care about, so the people that I actually know. So I was talking about how
Hmm.
clients, because I
Everyone
so
else
don't,
doesn't.
because I
Hmm.
so don't care. Like, but
Yeah.
yes, but that you ask me, like, so absolutely, absolutely, like on a weekly basis, there's some backlash. Backlash. This is like even like either I'll say something on LinkedIn and someone gets fucking triggered.
Hmm.
It's usually broke um broke guys who are old enough to know that they shouldn't be broke by now.
Yeah.
And me talking about poor versus rich, or like me making a post, like I made a post like five biggest misconceptions poor people have about rich people. And then some
Hmm.
poor guy gets triggered. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Even though everything I say, it's as far as I'm concerned, factually accurate, but he gets triggered, and then I'm the bad guy, right?
Hmm.
But to answer your question, yes, plenty of backlash. I'm so used to it. It does absolutely nothing to me. It's like
Hmm.
not like zero.
Yeah, of
No, it's
course.
actually it's more than that. There was a phase when I was like, oh, like the first 5, 10 was like, oh shit, like, okay, I had to like take some time to internalize it, right? But then because I've experienced so much of it, got to the point of like, I don't give a shit. And now I'm at the stage where I find it entertaining.
Yeah.
When I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna reply to this is
Oh, dude,
I'm
that's
having so much
funny.
and I just mess around with them. Like,
Yeah.
I just make them, I'm not saying all of them are stupid because some of them are intelligent. They just disagree with me, which is absolutely fine. I have
Mm-hmm.
no problem with people disagreeing with me. I expect people to disagree with me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
certainly not, expecting everybody to agree with everything I say, but I don't care if someone I don't know agrees with me or not. I certainly care if somebody gets offended by something that I say because they misunderstood what I was trying to say. That's a problem. That's bad communication on my side, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I have a problem with because I certainly don't do or say anything to offend anyone. But sometimes, as a direct result of me just being honest, some people get offended, and I
Mm-hmm.
accept that, But
The
I just don't care. It's like if it's
the
your
re
choice to get offended.
mm,
Like I didn't make you offended. You made yourself
yourself,
feel
yeah. The reason why I ask is because a lot of coaches, when they first begin, they get on the ladder of becoming a coach.
yeah.
There's a lot of people that worry about people saying certain things about them,
Oh,
how they come across, how they look. And so, I mean, I guess you've already kind of answered it, how you deal with it. But if you could
sure.
give a tip to coaches that are brand new and they're
Sure.
worried about how they, you know,
Sure. So first of all, let's look at, let's explore for a bit why do we care as human beings what other human beings think of us, which we all do, myself included. I just limited the circle of people I care about the opinion of. It's not a tiny circle. It's
hmm
not the entire 8 billion people on the planet, that's for sure, right? So I absolutely care what my family thinks of me, especially my
hmm
mother, who's the closest person in my life. I absolutely care about what she thinks of me. Um, Not to the point where, even with my closest people, not to the point that I would do something I don't want to do just to please her. Like, she would love for me to be married and have 2 kids by now, but I do
and you
not
don't
want to
want
get
that.
married and I don't want to have kids. And as much as I would like to make my mother happy by being
You
married
can't,
and
yeah.
settling down and, like everybody else, which I
Do
thought
you have a brother or a sister?
I have an older sister, thank God, and she's married with 2 kids. So like,
Okay, great.
so
That's it.
and she's in
I feel you. Yeah.
Poland, a 10 minute, 15-minute drive from them. So like
That's
this,
good.
this made it fucking a little bit easier for me, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I absolutely care what my family thinks of me. I absolutely care what my clients think of me. I absolutely care what my team, so a team of freelancers helping with all sorts of things. I don't have anyone like on a permanent employment basis. I don't need
hmm
that type of employment. Contracted, employees. But other than that, okay, but why do we care?
hmm
Because, like, I'm not a expert when it comes to those things, but I have some views. The best way I can explain it, we care because back in the day, when we used to live in caves, when we used to live in tribes, the tribes were small, and if you didn't get along with people in your tribe, you were, to use a technical term, fucked, right? Like you
Yeah.
wouldn't survive. You needed that approval to
hmm
stay in that tribe. And it wasn't a case of back in the day where like, okay, guys, we disagree. Um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
How it is
go and do
now.
my own thing. No, we couldn't, back then, we
Mm.
couldn't survive
hmm
by ourselves, right? And to this day, we can't really survive by ourselves for the most
Yeah.
part, right? But so you had to get it was a survival thing, and it's still a survival thing. Is that except that we no longer need to worry about being accepted by everyone, but our brain hasn't caught up on the fact
hmm
that we no longer live in caves and we are no longer restricted to just 150 people in our tribe,
Yeah.
and we need that acceptance from everyone, right? So
It's reminding me of something that I've heard this before, but it's also I heard about how the online world can present in our brains threats every day. Threat like whether it's people or different types of content that's like not good for us, or this
Mhm.
is what somebody was saying, and how we can internalize that and we start, well, not we, but certain people can start finding that too much.
I have a lot of compassion and understanding for people who care about what other people think of them, especially, if we're talking about teenage girls on Instagram, she's 13, 14. There's absolutely no fucking
Mm-hmm.
way if I had a daughter, she would have access to Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Like, but and it's like, oh, but like when parents say like, but like, what can I do? It's like, what do you mean what you can do? Like,
Yeah,
who's in charge here? Right?
yeah.
Like I told you, I have my sister and she has
Mm-hmm.
two boys, right? Normal boys, great boys. Now one is 15, one is 20.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a rule in that household that they can't play computer games Monday to Friday.
Mm.
And there's no fucking around. And they're no like weak kids. They're not like weaklings. It's just like
Yeah,
my sister, she's a badass. Her husband is a badass. And they are the parents, they are in charge. And obviously,
yeah.
the boy, I would go there for Christmas, I would see them and they would moan and they would try to get their way. I was like, but no, it's like
They're gonna get their way with you there.
no, no,
No,
I mean no, and
no.
I'm just like I try to stay away from talking about parenting because I don't have kids, right? But like
Yeah.
I know exactly what kind of parent I would be if I had kids, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know. I decide. I lead, you
Yeah.
follow, right? And then when you're 18, you start to make your own money or whatever. That's different, right? But like for as long as I fucking pay for everything, you do
Yeah.
what I say, right? So
Yeah.
if I say no Instagram, it means no Instagram, for example. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so I have a lot of compassion and understanding, um, and I do recognize that one. Um, I already had a strong predisposition to not to give a fuck too much. Like I just grew up. It's a combination of genetics and upbringing. My father being very assertive and all of that, and being brought up in that household. I've never given too much of a fuck about what people think of me. And now on top of it, I've added 19 years of personal development, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it would be very easy for me to say, just don't care. It's easy. No, no, I know I can't say it's easy because it's not, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
easy for me, but I do
Yeah, for a lot it's
understand.
not.
I because but the rule that I have is so back to what I was saying. Who are the people I care about the opinion of, and the people I care about the opinion of, I care about the opinion of a lot. It's not like, oh, this client or that client said this, but like, who cares? It's just a client. No, no, it's like oh, what? Oh my God, damn! And I would like
Mm-hmm.
obsess is a strong word, but I would take clients' feedback extremely fucking seriously. Like I would think about it for days. Not like sleepless nights kind of thing, but I would think about it as like, damn, damn, that is. And I'm not talking about criticism. It's just because I work with extremely nice people, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last ones to criticize, and we have great relationships and all of that, lots of mutual respect, right? But sometimes like someone would say something and I would take it so fucking seriously, right? But here's the rule that I have. If there is no scenario in which a human being will be in my house twice at least, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whether in my house in flesh, because I work from home and many people come here and do the coaching with me in person, people based in London or around London, right? But also I could say like yourself today, right? You are in my house
Mm-hmm.
virtually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if there was no scenario in which I can imagine this person ever coming back to my house, so someone might come for the initial consultation. So before client becomes a client, there's a free initial consultation, 2 to 3 hours, right? We spend our time together. And if they never come back, they don't become a client, or I think this is not my person, I will never want to work with them anyway, then
Mm-hmm.
since there's no scenario in which this person will ever be back in my house, as a rule, I don't care what they think of me.
Mm-hmm.
because they are the opposite of my people, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Right? Because
Yeah.
my people are the people who've been to my house in person or virtually
Mm-hmm.
many times, right? So it's like a simple like, okay, will this person be in my house twice? No. Okay. What they think of me
It
is
doesn't
of no
matter.
is not of no interest to me.
So you mentioned about if somebody comes for a consultation and then you end up not working with them,
Mhm.
what disqualifies someone to work with you?
Um,
If somebody comes to you, let's say somebody comes to you and you think, okay, because you're also, I'm guessing, deciding whether you guys can work together, right? So
Absolutely.
what would be something that would disqualify somebody that you would want working with you?
Sure. So I can give you I can give you a recent example because I had an initial consultation with someone. So
Mm,
first of all, full transparency. It's not a common occurrence. It's not like only one out of two people make the cut. Because the way my website, my online presence as a whole, my online ecosystem as a whole, if you will, is set up, is to be um, a filter.
mm-hmm,
It's a filter mechanism, right? It serves as both the magnet for the right people and the repeller for
mm,
the wrong people, right?
yeah,
Meaning that the vast majority of the people I have initial consultations with, which is approximately 100 people per year,
mm-hmm,
are right people. The chemistry is there. I enjoy talking to them, like I enjoy talking to you. It's just like we get along with it.
mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm,
we met today for the first time, and from the like, how long did it take us to like connect?
mm-hmm,
6 seconds, 4 seconds. Like it was just like when it's there, and when it's not there,
mm,
it's not there. And yes, with some people, some like one of my long-term clients, I remember when I met him for the first hour of the initial consultation, I was thinking, that's not my guy. I, I,
mm,
I don't want to work with him. And I've seen that since a few more times
mm-hmm,
since. He just had to warm up to me to show his true colors. And when I saw his true
mm,
colors, I quote unquote fell in love with him. Right? Like, it's
mm,
just like I was like I couldn't believe I said that to him because when he became a client, like we know each other very well. I said to him, I was like, listen, I'll be honest with you. For the first hour, I was like, there's no way I want to work with you because I found you. I can't remember what I said, but I found him so like stiff and
mm.
just like a bit lifeless. But then he
Oh,
said something like how um, it takes him a little bit of time to like warm up to someone, right?
mm-hmm,
And I couldn't believe the shift because it's not like something's been said and that opened him up.
mm,
It was just a matter of spending enough time
mm.
with each other, right?
Is that, sorry, Michael, is that why you decide to do longer consultations? Because 2 to 3
Partially,
hours is actually quite long
partially.
compared to,
Partially,
yeah.
partially. It's yeah, they average 3 hours. The longest was 6.5 hours. But there are
Wow.
some, there were two this year under 10 seconds, so it's
Mm, okay.
coming back to your original question, when there is a clear no from my side, uh, basically, Louise, to put it simply, as soon as I conclude in my head that there is no scenario in which I would want to work with this person, I end the consultation. Not abruptly. I'm not gonna be like talking to someone, hey, yeah, maybe, and then
Gotta go.
just like I'm not a complete fucking asshole.
Mm,
But as soon as I arrived to that conclusion, I ended. But this client of mine that I was just talking about is a great example of how if my initial consultations were only an hour long, which I appreciate is industry standard, well, half an hour, 45 minutes
mm,
sometimes is industry standard. So if that consultation only lasted 1 hour, he would never become a client. And not only
yeah.
he became a client, um, he came to me for that initial consultation back in 2018, and we're still
Mm,
working together. Like
wow.
I'm seeing him. I was talking to him earlier today via WhatsApp, and I'm seeing him for a session on the 19th of June. Right,
What
so
would, wow.
on and off, not continuously,
Uh-huh.
7 years,
Just
but
coming back
on and
when,
off, on and off, on
mm-hmm,
and off. So we would. we would achieve one goal. He would then come back and we would work on something else. And
Mm-hmm.
now we're working on something else, right? Um, so, so,
What?
so like your original question was like, what's the criteria? So, I see those initial consultations as a two-way interview process, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like I'm sussing you out while you sussing me out at the same time, right? And it is it is quite rare for me not to like the person I have initial consultation with, to the point that I don't want to work with them, right? It is quite rare because, as I said before, my website, it's a great repellent for the wrong people.
Yeah,
That I
you get
meet
rid of
very
that.
few, yeah, which means that
Mm-hmm.
I meet very few wrong people. Or sometimes, um, if the website doesn't do good enough of a job in repelling the wrong people, by the way they approach me, by
Mm.
the way they approach me about this initial consultation, pattern recognition is like, nah, delete. I don't even reply, right? So if
Mm.
anyone listening, if you ever send me inquiry and you don't reply, it's not because I'm not on top of my inbox, because I am. It's just
You don't.
you gotta
Yeah, you
fucking
just.
you gotta fucking work on your communication skills, right? Because
Yeah.
I have my standards, and I'm not asking for, "Hi, Michael. I hope you well. I hope you have a wonderful like." And that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But Luis, I would have people. It doesn't happen often, but like, can you imagine someone reaching out to you for initial consultation and they say nothing else? That there's no subject line, nothing. They just say,
Oh, I
"Can
know.
can I have a consultation?"
Mm.
Delete. What the fuck? Like, where is hi?
Yeah.
Like, because obviously it doesn't take a genius to figure out that a person who thought that that approach would be acceptable
Mm.
is probably a fucking moron,
Mm.
right? It doesn't take a genius to make that connection, right? Because it's like,
Mm.
even dyslexic people, yeah, they can make mistakes, no problem. Although, like, it's not really excuse for like typos and spelling mistakes in like professional, because with all the AI
Mm-hmm.
and the not even before AI, right? With all the
Yeah.
tools that we have on our iPhones or other devices, right? Not saying, oh, there was a comma missing in that sentence, I'm not gonna meet this person. Like, that's what I'm saying, but like,
Mm.
it's just a basic level of like basic manners.
Yes. Yeah.
Just hi, Michael.
Do you think that maybe somebody that would reach out like that is trying to be so direct because they're looking at maybe things that they've seen online or your website
No,
or
no,
something?
no. They're just
They're
fucking morons.
just morons.
They're
Okay.
just morons. But like, there's
There's
no.
no in between.
No, there's
What?
either morons or just or just someone um
Yeah, I don't, probably
just clueless,
just
clueless. Like,
yeah,
they might be intelligent, but just like
yeah,
moronic
just
when it
not.
comes to people skills, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's absolutely no way I'm gonna have a good time having this
With
initial
somebody.
consultation with that
Mm.
person. Why would I waste my time if I already feel that there's no way we're gonna end up working? What's the point, right? But that's very rare. The vast
What?
majority of people I meet are great, and the number one thing that stops us from working together is how much I charge, and it's clear to me because I know that had I had I had I been charging half or 25% of what I'm charging, uh, 80% or 90% of the people I meet would become clients, right? But I don't have the capacity to work
Yeah.
with, to take on 80 new clients per year. I have capacity to take on 25, maybe 30 max, right? So I need most of those 100 initial consultations not to convert into clients. You see,
Mm.
I need it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and what I've done from 20 pounds per session to what I'm charging right now, when too many people were saying yes to working with me at the level I was charging at the time, I would put my fees up because obviously in my line of work, my time is limited, right?
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
can't be
selling, I'm not
everywhere.
selling software, right? I'm not
Yeah.
yet not a software product, right? It's like, so there's obviously a limitation on my time and mental bandwidth, and there's only X amount of people I can work with at any given time. If I want to do my job at the highest level, which is the only way I want to do it, right? So, so that really helps to approach those initial consultations in a way that I hope People never feel pressurized.
Mm.
Yeah, because I'm
Mm.
like, hey, listen, let's talk and let's see how it goes. Let's see what
Mm.
happens.
What would you say to, because there's a lot of coaches out there right now that they don't make it. They just kind of they go to the last hurdle and
Yeah,
they're unable to gain clients and maybe
yeah,
they're worried to put their prices up or they don't know what to charge and they throw in the towel at the last minute. So what
sure.
would you say to anyone out there that is listening right now, watching, who's in a coaching field of some kind, and
Yeah.
they don't, then that either they're not bringing in clients or they're unable to make money from it in the way that they want.
The thing with coaching is that similar to acting industry or modeling industry, creative industries, most of the creative industries, there is extremely high unemployment rate.
Mm.
It's extremely hard to make money in acting. Yes, we hear about Tom Cruise and we hear about Julia Roberts and we hear about, well, that's like
Yeah, it's like 1%.
exactly right. And most of actors are struggling, right? And similarly to
Mm.
coaching, there's few players out there that are doing well, and most of coaches are struggling. They never make it, right? And here is the thing: they don't make it not because they're not good enough coaches. They don't make it because they think that being a good coach is good enough,
Mm-hmm.
right? That all I need to do is to get some coaching qualification, certification, whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be good enough. And people will just what like
Arrive at the door.
yeah magically appear.
Yeah.
Like to this day, yeah, Michael Serwa, the highest paid life coach in the country. To this day, I invest heavily, both in terms of financial resources, energy resources, um, intellectual, as in, thinking resources
Mm.
into my marketing. Right. To this day,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I don't have, if you come in here, you won't see a line of people waiting to come. Like I still like to this day, after 13 and a half years, there's a huge emphasis on marketing and branding and polishing my
Mm-hmm.
website. So where I'm going with this is like how coaching, the actual coaching, that's the easy part. The
Mm.
business of coaching is the hard part, right? And
Yeah.
and most coaches, partially because of ICF and all those ICF accredited courses and schools, they're
Mm-hmm.
under this impression that it's about learning how to be a good coach, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously like the way those schools pitch it to them is like, listen, all you got to do is to get our certification. Once you have
Yes.
it,
I've seen that before. And
yeah,
then they
people.
leave them and then afterwards they're like, well, what, you know?
And Luis, and now here's the thing. And this is not, I'm not on some like lifelong mission to bring ICF down. Like I have no respect for ICF as a
Mm-hmm.
international coaching federation. Like, who the fuck are you? Like,
Mm.
a bunch of boring ass people, as far as I'm concerned, getting together uh,
Creating.
and creating this. Like, you and I could create a similar body tomorrow and be in
Mm.
direct quote unquote competition with them, right? It's like it's a completely
Mm-hmm.
made up body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm sure it's full of nice people, but now who are those trainers at those coaching schools?
Mm.
Failed coaches, right? Because no,
Oh
no,
my
when you
God,
think about it,
yes.
nobody wakes up in the morning with a dream of becoming a trainer at the coaching school, meaning that
Yeah.
you are being trained
Yeah.
by
It's so
people
true.
who have failed in the very industry you want to make money in. Think about that, right?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right. So then, obviously, there's no harm in getting a coaching coach. I don't have any, but
Mm-hmm.
there's absolutely no harm in it. Like, it's not
Mm-hmm.
gonna hurt you. Like, yes, you're gonna spend some money, but if you spend the same amount of money, so the good courses would be anywhere between, I don't know, three to 7K or something like that. The
Mm-hmm.
really good ones. I'm not talking about the ones that you can get online over 12 weeks, right?
Mm-mm.
For 997, right? Because obviously they exist as well. But like, the good
Yeah.
courses when you need a lot of like practice clients and all of that, they're not gonna
Mm-hmm.
hurt you, but they will cost you 5K, let's say, right? Had you spend that money on getting a mentor, I'm not saying me, because you need a little bit more than 3K to work with me. Just saying. But just a mentor, someone who's done it someone who makes money as a coach, that money will be so much better spent because
Yeah.
learning the most important thing here, which is the business side of things, which is how to
Mm.
market yourself, so how to get clients,
So much, isn't it?
how to build a brand, first of all, of some sort, and then how you market yourself, and then how you sell coaching, like how you
Hmm.
sell the thing that nobody can touch and feel. This is not like selling cars.
Yeah, I also think about this because with coaching as life coaching, it's not like even in personal training, you're showing results before
Yeah.
and after. So like people can see, oh, this is how I
Yes.
can
Yes.
look.
Yes.
You know, it's untangible and people don't
It's
realize.
it's not easy to sell coaching. Even as I said before, even I didn't understand what coaching was after deciding to become a coach. How
Mm-hmm.
on earth would you expect your quote unquote average person who recognizes that they could use some help to understand what coaching is? And then you try to sell it to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes an enormous amount of skill and experience and practice. And I'm still learning, right? I had
Yeah, of
2000 plus initial consultations and I'm still learning. I'm still getting better at it,
course.
right? Because it's just hard, right? But coaching qualifications are, as far as I'm concerned, are either worthless or borderline worthless because nobody cares. Like the market
Mm-hmm.
doesn't care. Nobody asks me ever if I have a coaching qualification. People
Mm-hmm.
don't care.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing people care about is the obvious, which is can I help
Get
them with the
results.
problem that
Yeah.
they have? Right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't care what coaching school I went to. They don't know coaching schools exist. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
ICF means nothing to them, to the average person, right? So it's to your original question is the struggle comes from not understanding or not fully understanding that coaching business is still a business. Yes, it's about helping people. I get it. But that's a given.
Yeah.
Oh, you are a good person and you want to help. That's a fucking given, right? But how are you gonna help anyone unless you learn how to market yourself so you can actually get clients? So it's actually I could frame it as like how it is your responsibility as a coach to learn the business side of things. It is a disservice to the society,
Mm.
right, to the humanity if you don't learn those things because unless you learn those skills, you can't help anyone. And within a year, you're gonna have to go back to do your job that you did before you became a coach, right?
So many
And
people
it's a
do that.
shame. And it's a shame, you know.
Okay, what's one piece of advice in the coaching world that you think is absolute bullshit?
I said that already, or touched on it already, that you need any type of coaching qualification, certification, diploma. You absolutely don't.
Perfect. So if somebody is currently broke right now, but they are, coaching or trying to be a coach, do you think that they should even be giving advice if they are not themselves in a position of whatever position they're?
I was broke when I started
Mm-hmm.
coaching. I was, to be exact, um, £5,000 below broke, right?
Mm.
Because that was my net worth, quote unquote, net worth at the time, minus 5K when I started coaching. Um, I didn't have the money, but I was happy. I was confident. I had something to offer, right? People didn't come to me for back then. Didn't come to me for how to make money coaching, right?
Mm.
How to grow a business coaching. People came to me for back then. People were coming to me to help them with the things that I had that they didn't have: happiness, confidence, great dating skills, things like that, good health and fitness, right? Because I had those things already. The only thing that was missing was the money, but money started to come very quickly because I just put myself out there. And yes, I started £20 per session, but um, by year two, I was making, 6-figure income from coaching, right? So like money caught up with everything else that was already going for me. Um, so being broke is not a problem, right? You don't need
Mm.
to, like in general, you don't need to know that much more than your client to be valuable to your client. Even if you just know 5% more on that particular subject than your client, that's 5%, that 5% difference is
Mm-hmm.
enough for someone to want to work with you if you are there to be found by that
Mm-hmm.
person, right? So that's the marketing side,
Yeah.
right? Because like you can be, um, using another music analogy, you can be the most talented singer on the planet, but nobody knows you exist
Yeah.
because you never put anything on YouTube or Spotify or you just sing in your bedroom, right, in front of
Mm.
people. That's like, like a coach who might be way more talented to begin with than I was when I first started, but
Mm-hmm.
um like I really pushed it. I really pushed the hell out of it, right? So it's not like, oh, I was such a brilliant coach that I had two clients. I got two clients somehow, and those clients then each uh, brought me six referrals, and those that wasn't the case because I didn't know what
Mm.
the hell I was doing. Like
Yeah.
yesterday, I'm Googling what life coaching is, and tomorrow I'm coaching. Like I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Right? That's why I was charging 20 pounds per session because I didn't feel it was right for me to ask for more, given that I didn't know what I was doing and I was very much experimenting on my first clients. So
So,
I was broke. I was broke. I was collecting job seeker allowance. It was
hmm
270 pounds per month, I remember, for the first 6 months of me being a coach. I was
and
broke.
then, wow. And then what happened? What was the moment you were like, okay, this is going to shift,
It,
or
it, it
this is
shifted.
shifting?
It shifted within. So the first 3 months, I was making less than 1K per month for the
Mm-hmm.
first 3 months. So that's the end of 2011, and then from January 2012, I was averaging 3K already, which was more than what I was making in retail back then.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I was like, oh my fucking. I three
You did it.
thousand pounds a month doing what? So doing this, something that to this day I would be more than happy to do it for free. Are you
Mm.
fucking kidding me? Like, how, how is that even a job? Like, this is like I was like the happiest fucking camper on the planet. Like I couldn't believe, right? And I was, like I said to you at the start, like I was just as happy in my first year, if not happier, because there was also this novelty thing, right? Because there's years like I'm a coach, I'm a coach.
Yeah.
Oh my God, people come to me and people trust me with their lives and the money. And it's like, wow, I'm living my best life. And then 34K my first year, 95K my second year, 126, and then and it's just like, when I got to that
Mm-hmm.
quarter of a million by year four of like turnover, not profit, just to be
Mm-hmm.
just to be clear. That's what I knew. I'm the highest paid, the most successful life coach in the country because I don't believe that there's another life coach in the country today making quarter of a million from
Mm-hmm.
one-to-one coaching exclusively, right? And quarter of a million is what I was making, 10 years ago,
Back then,
right?
yeah.
So that's why I said, obviously I might be wrong because I can't know for sure,
Yeah.
but I don't know of any. If anyone listening and you're making that money, send me a message so I'll stop telling
Yeah.
lies because I like to be factually accurate. But to the best of my knowledge, there is nobody else making anywhere near of what I make. But like I said at the start, it's never been about the money. Money just
Yeah.
money just followed. I would follow my such a cliche. I would follow my passion. I would follow my
Mm-hmm.
calling. And the man's like, oh my God, it's like, oh my God, like all those people are saying yes to working with me. Like, there was this one point in 2017 where I got to 40 clients.
Mm-hmm.
It was non-stop, and I was in a relationship as well. My girlfriend, understandably so, was complaining that all I was doing was work. She was fucking right to complain because all I was doing was work.
That
Like,
was your building
yeah, 40
phase.
clients, and at that time, so now I have less consultations because I charge more. But for the first 9, 10 years of my career, I would have around 200 initial consultations per year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So.
when you combine on average, so 40, that was like the extreme, and I put my fees up, and the fees dropped, the number dropped quickly. Um, but for the most of my career, I would have 25 to 30 clients plus
Mm-hmm.
around 200 initial consultations per year. That's a lot, right? So the girlfriends that I had that I lived with, understandably so, would complain, but I would say, yeah, work
You've got
comes
to
first,
work.
and that's never
Yeah.
gonna change. And then it came to a point. I know I'm digressing, but like came to the point I was like, you know what, I am not fit to be in a regular relationship with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. I don't need it. It's not fair on her. Like
Mm.
I'm a workaholic. Like
You mean now, or you mean just in general, like back then, or?
for the since 2017, that's when I concluded that I will no longer be in regular relationships.
Mm.
Obviously, you know, I can wake up. My mother hopes that I will wake up tomorrow and be like, and I say to her, like,
Ding,
listen,
change.
yeah, I say, listen, you know, if I might hit my fucking head in the gym somewhere and have a minor head injury, and things might change, you know, but
Yeah,
I've been at my happiest over the last 8 years. No regular relationships. I date a lot.
yeah.
No regular relationships. No drama. No
Mm-hmm.
jealousy. No them trying to compete with my work, which is a losing battle because like you can't compete with my nobody can. You can be
No, I
fucking
think,
princess and you will
yeah,
never be able to take the number one spot because my
no.
work takes the number one spot, and I don't see that ever changing. You know, so
You must
so
be a
so
Capricorn.
yeah. Yeah.
You are a Capricorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's funny.
I am a
Um,
Capricorn indeed.
oh, that's funny. I really want to talk more about all of this. I feel like there's a huge chunk that I wanted to speak on, but literally this is gonna chop off in a
Oh,
minute.
maybe at least we can always do round two and three, you know.
Yeah, I wanted to talk on like the dating scene and like there's so many other things that I wanted to
Oh
talk
yeah, no,
about,
no, I'm a
but
guy. Dating is something that yeah, I've been studying female psychology and male female dynamics for 16 years now.
mm,
I've
yeah,
been
we
in
should
five relationships, literally hundreds of situationships
chips, yeah.
as I've
Oh, I would
arrangements.
love to pick your brains on that.
Yeah, I have a lot to say on that subject for sure. And then after coaching over 500 people, half of them being women, half of them being men, not,
Mm,
not always, but sometimes or often there'll be some element of dating, whether it's, you know, they're
mm,
single and they're trying to meet someone or they're in a relationship. So it was very interesting
mm.
to over the last 13 and a half years to learn from both sides, to hear
Yeah.
stories from both sides and then pass the things I've learned from my female clients to my male clients,
Yes,
vice
that's
versa,
interesting.
right? So it's not
Yeah.
just my personal experience of dating a lot, like from the age of 16, right? But also, you know, and the books that I've read in my 20s on the subject of female psychology and male female dynamics, but then like I said, collecting data from my clients and then you
Switching
know,
it over.
so
Yeah.
there's this, you know, if I liked writing books, which I don't, I could write, you know, a book or two on dating alone because I've learned so much.
Yeah, I would, yeah. It is fascinating. I find it fascinating, the whole
Yeah.
dating scene.
Yeah, no, the dance, the game, the male and female,
Yeah.
it's like all of that. I have so much to, but that's like, yeah,
It's a big topic.
yeah, exactly.
It's a
Yeah,
big
we could
topic.
do it, you know.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to cut it
Okay.
here, but thank you so much for coming on. I would say where can people find you, but I would say where can't they find you at this point?
Good one. Good one. Good one. Yeah, it's like I had this mentee. So by mentee I mean a coach that I would
Mm,
business mentor. So most of my clients are so-called civilians, as I refer to them, and I also work with coaches one to one. So coaches come to me for mentoring, and I help them build
mm-hmm,
or grow their coaching businesses, right?
mm-hmm.
And uh, my former mentee Raghav, he came up with this thing that that if someone in the UK is in the coaching industry and they haven't heard about me, he'd say something like they must be living under a fucking rock. It's like
Literally.
if you
There must be.
if you've been
I
in the coaching
agree.
industry for at least a few months and you haven't heard, I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. I was like, it's just like
No, I get it.
because like the first thing that I did when I decided is like let me Google who's out there. Like this is like it's the
Hmm.
first thing you do, right? It's like who is doing what? How are they doing it? It's like I need to build a website. How do I know how to build a website? Like, what do I need to put on this website? So it's like as you said to your point, it's just impossible
Mm.
to Google anything life coaching related in the UK, and like whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to see my face. I'm sorry. you know.
Wow, amazing.
There's just no. I made sure of that, with my team that that's the case.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, I'd love to do another episode specifically on dating because that
Sure,
is just a
anytime, Louise,
huge
anytime.
topic.
Thank you for having me. And yeah, this, heart and hustle. Today we
Heart and
spoke about
hustle.
hustle, and next
Yeah, we
time
need
will
to do
be
the
about
heart.
more about
Yeah,
heart. So I'm
exactly.
not, I'm not, I'm not the biggest romantic, but I know a thing or
But
two
I feel
about
like
heart-related
you're
issues.
probably an encyclopedia of things in the dating scene. So,
I would, as back to what I was saying before, since I don't do false modesty, yes, I have to confirm it. Yes, I am.
okay.
I am quite knowledgeable on the subject, to say the least.
Amazing. Well, I hope you have a good day. Yeah, speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon.